Hello, my name is Austin Shadle, and welcome back to the Life Endurance Podcast, where we explore methods of unlocking your true potential in the greatest endurance race we all partake in, life. You'll be amazed what you can achieve when you have no other option. How creating a situation where you have no other option, by choice, can be used to force the most out of us. I was listening to a podcast, and the story of how the author of The Hunchback of Notre Dame was struggling to finish their novel. As the deadline to finish was quickly approaching, he took the most drastic measures possible to force him to finish. He locked himself in a cold room with a desk and a single blanket so he could not be completely comfortable. He had an assistant transfer food and supplies under the door. He made it so there was nothing to do except work on his book. Per usual, the example I bring up is extreme, and even David Goggins tells us to do as he says and not as he does, because going to extremes all the time is rarely the best path. But that doesn't mean we can't learn from others' extremes. Alex Hormozi is a more modern example of this. When he needs to do deep focused work, he sets a timer and spends that entire amount of time alone in a dark room with earplugs and only his computer with the specific task on the screen. And an example of the result of this is that in 4 years, Alex wrote 3 books, sold tens of millions of copies, even breaking a world record for book launch sales. So we look at stories of when people have no other option or create environments that provide no other options. We see the amazing things they overcome, the exceptional innovations they create in technology, the situations they've saved themselves from. What's the common denominator? They only have 2 options: take action on the necessary task or take no action at all. In these situations, the only way to procrastinate is to literally do nothing at all. And in that situation, I think most of us would choose the single option over no action at all. By removing our options, we make it nearly impossible to procrastinate. A big part of procrastination is struggling to start. But again, when we only have a single option, it becomes so much easier to start. And we will find that once we start and build just a little bit of momentum, that's when our motivations truly surface. You remember and feel why you're doing the work. That emotion and drive you thought was lost while you were procrastinating. And this allows us to build even more momentum and deep work capability. I did this throughout the entirety of my time in college. Engineering school was extremely difficult. There was hours and hours and hours of deep work required to pass. Part of why I succeeded is that I rarely did homework or studied in my dorm room or apartment. I almost exclusively did my work in the library, classrooms, anywhere that the only thing I could do is work. If I didn't want to have a lot of people around, I would spend hours in the back rooms of the library, where there were rows and rows of old books. It was always hot, but it was quiet. It left me no other options. I'll admit, these days I struggled to recreate that. So I'll leave today's life endurance takeaway as a reminder to myself as much as advice to anyone listening. If you're struggling with procrastination or focus, try going to the extreme. Create an environment that removes choice. Identify your most important task and allow nothing else in front of you. Remove comfort to a level that forces you to want to take action so you can return to comfort. And you'll probably be surprised of what you can achieve. I hope today's episode added some value to your own pursuits. Please subscribe and take a brief moment to share if you think this could help others. To learn more about my background, follow me on Instagram at endurancebeast. To support yourself as well as the podcast, check out my affiliate links below. Thank you for listening, and as always, I look forward to sharing the next episode.